Hey, what's going on today, beer lovers? We're here in Honolulu at Beer Lab to check out some amazing beers. Let's get into it.
Welcome to another episode, beer lovers. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Trey, and today we're here in Manoa, which is a small college town located here in downtown Honolulu. This place makes really great beers. It is one of the older cats on the block. This place has definitely been around for a while here in the Hawaiian Islands. They have a great reputation. They make some amazing charcuterie boards. I know that's not something that you would really find at a brewery, but obviously they're known for their world-class beers. So, let's head in here
And let's have some beer.
My name is Nicolas Wong, the president of Beer Lab Hawaii. So, crazy story, Beer Lab Hawaii. It's actually started by myself and my two friends, our other two partners. We were actually engineers working at the shipyard, just having fun brewing beer together until we had some crazy ideas. And it actually started when I actually was able to go to Delaware and check out Dogfish Head, and it really just blew my mind. The whole atmosphere, what was created, their creativity, and the biggest one that blew me away was walking into their tap room and seeing the customers are just stoked drinking beer, the bartenders are just stoked talking about beer, and then the brewer walks out from the back, pours himself a beer, chats with some customers, and then goes back to work. And I just thought, wow, this whole concept about how people are interacting with beer and brewing, it's just something that we need to bring back to Hawaii. So we opened in 2016, started at this location here at university with a 7-barrel brew house back in the back. All of us brewing everything back there, kegging, carving, cleaning, doing everything ourselves. We were pleasantly surprised that it was a pretty nice welcome. People were loving the beer, and since then we really expanded out to our 3 locations now at Pro Ridge Center and our bigger brewery out in Waipio. So the styles that we really have a good time with and kind of specialize in is we actually were able to go on a trip out to Maine and to really check out some of their New England style hazy IPAs. That was maybe about 2 or 3 years ago now. We were able to taste their Bissell Brothers and the Trilliums and the Tree Houses of the world, and really were blown away by this new concept, a new style of beer, because it really matches what we do here in Hawaii and how we drink, which is a lot of people don't like the true bitterness of beer, and being able to bring the full flavor of hops while really cutting back on the bitterness is something that I think Hawaii really has adopted and really enjoyed from that. So the Omakase series, we are, very, very what we call, experimental. When we first started this breweries, we already were engineers at our other jobs, and we always said if we were gonna start a brewery, then we wanted to keep brewing fun. And to keep brewing fun is always that push to make it better, to try new things, to see what's out there, and to see what kind of better IPA we can make. So the Omakase series started as same base recipe of beer, so the same grain bill, same yeast bill, everything's the same, but it's how can we utilize the different awesome, crazy hops that are coming out of New Zealand, from the Northwest, and to see how that these different hops can merge and match and come up with different beer. So for us, omakase is, if you don't know, it's chef's choice. In our world, omakase means brewer's choice. So we are able to let our brewers have the free reign of mixing and matching different types of hops into the base recipe of our hazy IPA. So after a long day of working at the bar, working at the brewery, we really enjoy, I guess, what's on tap right now. There's actually a beer we have on here called EO. It is a hazy IPA, a little bit lighter, and we're starting to experiment a lot with different types of yeast that can go well with our hazy styles. We really dive a lot deeper into beer here at Beer Lab. We try to match the beers that we're brewing with really the culture that we find here in Hawaii. And with the culture here in Hawaii, we always are eating and drinking and talking and eating and drinking, and we can't really have these, big, heavy, crazy, San Diego style, blast your palate IPAs, because we're eating such delicate things as raw fishes and really raw fishes, raw crabs, raw octopuses. Those flavors are really delicate. So we really try to tailor our back end or our finishes of our beers to really match that type of style of drinking. So the reason to come to Beer Lab, we are truly born and raised here. I grew up in the valley right behind you here, and we've always focused on beer first, pushing local, and really changing and educating our community here to what craft beer is. So you do get a little bit of stripped down from the tourist side of it, but we've always pushed beer first, really quality of product, and really tried to expand and take now local flavors, local culture, local foods, and really blend all of that back into what we think is a truly local product, local beer. I hope you guys are able to come check out Beer Lab. Very experimental, fun spot, locally driven. Look forward to seeing you guys.
Well, it's time for the first beer of the day, and guys, I gotta tell you, we are not starting off very simple. This is a really, really special beer. This is called PMJ. It is a 5% pickled mango juice sour ale. Nicolas, the guy that you just saw in the interview, was telling us the story behind this. Locals, especially when they were kids, like to eat pickled mangoes, and usually even him as a kid would sneak into the kitchen and drink the remainder of the juice, and the parents are like, "What the hell are you doing? You're drinking all the pickled mango juice." For me, I've never had pickled mangoes. I love pickles. I love mangoes. Sounds really good. And a sour? Sure, let's do it. Cheers. You definitely get the vinegar on the nose and a little sweet fruit. Oh. All right, I was a little concerned starting off this way. I am not concerned anymore. Oh, this is fantastic, guys. 5% ABV, light drinking. This flavor is fantastic. It's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like pickled mangoes. It's mangoes, it's sweet, that sweet, delicious tropical fruit flavor. You get the vinegar as well from like the pickled kind of vibe, but it's not so much vinegar. If you guys know me well, I'm not a huge fan of those funky sours that just get out of control. This is actually quite mild. It blends really well. It doesn't extend your palate. This is really yummy. I could see why kids would want to drink like a whole jar of this.
All right, guys, so my first beer of the day is EO. It comes in at a 6% ABV, and it's brewed with Citra and Strata hops. I'm telling you right out the gate, this is going to be a juice bomb. But quick disclaimer on what EO is. It's actually the Hawaiian hawk, or it's a hawk that's located here in Hawaii. And the reason why it has that name is it actually makes that noise. So I'm going to embarrass myself right now and try to mimic that noise. EO, EO, EO!
Oh, that was terrible.
EO, EO, EO!
There you go.
There we go. All right. So hopefully this beer helps me make that sound a little bit better next go around. But I'm really excited to dive into it. Oh, I mean, right on the nose. A lot of citrus. I mean, I don't know what it is when it comes to my senses, but the very first thing I get with beer is tropical, citrusy notes. And the first thing I'm getting is like lemon peel, pineapple, a little bit of orange. It's very Hawaiian. So let's go ahead and get a taste in. Oh, man. Big punch of like grapefruit, pineapple juice, pog. So pog is pineapple, orange, guava. Wow, it's a very juicy beer. This is like a big juice bomb. Oh man, this is very crushable too. 6%. I mean, you could have 1,000 of these, honestly.
All right, guys. So my next beer up is a hazy IPA. They have quite a few hazy IPAs here, so I'm excited to get started on this. This is part of their omakase series. This is called Ikura. Ikura is a 6.5% hazy IPA. It's got Citra and Centennial. Before we started shooting, Trey told me that this is like his go-to here at Beer Lab, so we wanted to make sure that I was the one to review it. I'm excited. Hop profile sounds really, really good, so let's dig in. Oh. Oh yeah. You know, guys, being a SoCal resident, we tend to brag a lot about our haze game. Beer Lab's bringing the heat. This is really, really good. I'm getting peach on the nose, a little bit of apricot, and then once you dig in, you get some nice citrus, a little tangerine in there. The body is really light, but it's still silky, silky smooth. 6.5%, high drinkability, and man, look at that color, guys. That is like just beautiful straw color. This is like one of those hazy IPAs where I sit down and think I'm gonna have a couple, and then I wake up in my bed the next day and go, what the hell happened? That's the kind of beer this is. It's delicious.
All right, guys, so my second beer of the day is Here Comes Double. Obviously, it's pronounced Double in France and Belgium. But this is actually a really exciting beer because it comes in at a 6.8%. It obviously looks great. It looks very, very roasty. This is what the style is in Belgium. It's actually, it originated just outside of Antwerp. So Jeff has been to Belgium. My wife has been to Belgium. I've been to Belgium. So this is something that is very special for us. And also the team here at Beer Lab, they've been to Belgium as well. So I'm really excited for this one. Kind of feels like an unofficial homecoming because Belgium is kind of our home in Europe. So let's go ahead and get into it. Right out the gate, it's like opening up a bag of nuts, and I'm getting like big, I'm getting like big roasty, toffee, you know, nutty aromas, peanuts, almonds, you know. Let's go ahead and get into the taste. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if you guys like toffee. You can't really find it here in the US for some reason. I know it's a big thing in Europe. But the very first thing I'm getting on the tip of the tongue is like a nutty, almondy, toffee profile. And obviously this is true to the style. A little bit of bitterness on the back end. A lot of toasty, like toasted bread. It tastes like crackers almost, if you're familiar with that. I mean, everybody eats crackers, so. But it tastes really good, so I'm pretty impressed. So this, if I weren't looking out the window right now, like I feel like I'm in Belgium. This is something that is true to the style. You wouldn't really think this is something that you would find in the Hawaiian Islands, especially brewed to perfection and at a 6.8%. I mean, come on.
All right, Harry Potter fans, hop on your Nimbus 3000 and go for a ride with me. This hazy IPA is called Nimbus. It's a hazy double IPA. It's brewed with Galaxy Nelson Sauvignon hops. And really fun fact, they actually brewed this one with Kveik yeast. For those of you who aren't aware of what Kveik yeast is, it's a really unique yeast strain that came from Norway, and basically it ferments at higher temperatures. Most yeast thrives on low temperatures, usually between about 68 to 72 degrees. This can ferment all the way up into the high 90s. So one of the reasons why they use this is given the island's temperature, where they're located, a higher fermenting yeast temperature sounded like a good idea. And based on what Nicolas told me, this yeast is going to complement the hops very nicely. So let's dig in. Oh. You wouldn't like it, but I like it. You know what I get out of this is juicy fruit gum. Just straight up juicy fruit gum. From nose to palate to finish. It's just got like just mouth-watering, rich, just plethora of juicy, fruity flavors, tropical, citrus, the whole shebang. And then it carries off with a nice bitter finish. It doesn't stick on your tongue too long, so it's like kind of ready to take another sip, kind of dig right into it. But man, when it comes to Kveik yeast, it's still pretty new in the craft beer game, at least, you know, here in the States. This is wonderfully executed. It is.
All right, guys, so my third beer of the day is Chirashi. It is a hazy style IPA. This thing comes in at a 6.2%. It is brewed with around 5 hops. It's brewed with pretty much everything under the sun. Let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, on the nose, I'm getting like cantaloupe, pineapple, grapefruit, orange, obviously lemon, lime. Oh my gosh. They should make a candle of this. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Oh, wow. Very juicy. If you guys have ever had like fresh grapefruit juice, this is a very, very, very citrusy beer. And it is a juice bomb. I mean, it's only a 6.2%. This is their Omakase series. This is like true to what Beer Lab represents. Doing their own thing, making great beer. This is a really solid beer.
All right, so my next beer up is not a hazy. In fact, this is a beer style that you don't really find often at craft breweries nowadays. It's an American amber ale, and it's called Amber Management. 6.1%, and it is brewed with Centennial hops. Normally, I would be excited to try any type of amber style ale just because my friend John loves them, but the fact that it's got Centennial hops tells me that this is more of like a hoppy red, which I'm still excited to try it, but I don't think he would dig it. Let's see if I dig it. Cheers. You know, I really wish that red ales could make a comeback because the malt profile is just, it's so good. It's like toffee and biscuit. It's still really light and delicious. That Centennial hops, it could just be because I just had a hazy double a minute ago, but the hops are not overwhelming in this. It just kind of complements the malt profile really nicely, carries the beer until the very finish. Yeah, if you're looking for something a little sweeter and less bitter, this would definitely be a solid go-to. Again, another really low ABV beer, something that you could come here, have 3 or 4 of, make it last you quite a while, and I think you'd be really satisfied with the outcome.
All right, guys, so my next beer is Nene. So Nene is actually duck in Hawaiian. And so basically you'll be driving around Big Island, Maui, Kauai, and sometimes here on Oahu, you'll see Nene crossing. That's what a Nene is. It's a duck. And so I'm really excited for this one. It comes in at a 6% ABV. It is brewed with Eldorado and Amarillo hops. So right out the gate, it's going to be very refreshing. Oh man. I'm just getting lime, like fresh lime juice. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like that green lime in the grocery stores. This is almost what it smells like. It's like opening that up, twisting off the top, squeezing it a little bit. I'm also getting a little bit of flour as well on it, like freshly picked flowers. My wife and I live on a farm, and it's like just face planting in a farm, or it's face planting into flowers pretty much. Let's go ahead and get into the taste. Oh man. So I'm getting like lemon juice. I'm getting lime on the finish. I'm not really getting too much orange, even though I got that on the aroma. But it tastes pretty good. I mean, I've never really had Amarillo hops before, so this is a pretty good introduction into that category. So I think you guys will like it.
All right, guys, so my final beer of the day is going to be a dark one. This is called Dark Confidant. It is 9.3%. It's an imperial stout with oranges. I was a big fan growing up as a kid. Every Christmas, Santa Claus would put those chocolate oranges in my stocking, and it was like something I always looked forward to, so there's a little nostalgia in there for me. And, you know, stouts normally don't have citrus fruit like that added. We have a lot with raspberries and blueberries and marshmallows and vanilla and all that kind of stuff. It's not often you get one with oranges, so I'm really curious to see how it holds up. Cheers. Ooh, that's rich. Ooh, that's rich. All right, so this is a very rich beer, 9.3%, kind of not surprised. Really great, robust malt profile. You get a little bit of smokiness, you get a little bit of roastiness, you get like bitter chocolate in there. The oranges, if I'm being 100% honest, are not coming through a ton for me. It's quite a subtle flavor. But to be honest with you, the only way I could see them executing that in a way that would work is if they turn this into like a pastry stout, paired a bunch of orange flavor with like lactose sugar, but then it would become a lactose bomb, and then it would probably be too heavy for me to enjoy anyways. But names aside, ingredients aside, drinking this beer, it's just a delicious, rich, roasty beer. This is something that'll put a little bit of hair on your chest and, you know, probably give you a headache the next day.
All right, guys, final beer of the day is Koi Meets World. Now, obviously, it's a play on words. Boy Meets World, 80s show back in the day. Topanga, I love you. It is a golden sour ale brewed with lily koi. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what lily koi is, it's basically just passion fruit. It's a very aromatic fruit. It has a little bit of tanginess and sourness to it. But obviously, it's a fruit, so it's got that sweetness as well. And it comes in at a 6.6% ABV. So let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, the only thing I'm getting, because it's a sour, is just straight lily koi. Lily koi juice is very hard to find here on Oahu because everybody's just too busy eating it. But this, if they were to make like a lily koi juice, this is exactly what it would smell like. So I'm really excited for the taste because, like I said, you ain't going to find the juice anywhere here on Oahu. So let's dive into it. Oh, man. I know they're never going to do this, but if they were to make like a lily koi Jolly Rancher, this is exactly what it tastes like. I'm just getting whacked in the face with lily koi after lily koi after lily koi. It smells great. The taste is a little bit too sour for my liking. I'm not the biggest sour fan out there. I know my wife is going to love this, but it's pretty good. It's got a tiny bit of sweetness, but if you love fruity, tropical drinks, this is a very, very great presentation of a lily koi sour, or a sour in general.
All right, guys, so Trey and I have tried all the beers here at Beer Lab Hawaii. It's time to tell you which ones our favorites were. So Trey, you want to go ahead and start?
Yep. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit sad. It's kind of bittersweet. I originally wanted to go with Ikuta because that is my go-to when we come here, but I just found out that EO is a thing, and it's a beautiful beer, but it's just so refreshing. It's a big juice bomb. You've seen throughout these videos, we love our hazies, and this is exactly up my alley. So I have nothing bad to say about it. I love Beer Lab. This is the first brewery I ever came to in Hawaii, and I'll probably come here forever. So cheers.
I'm going to give Trey one more shot at redemption. Do you want to do the EO?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
There you go. Much better. Well, guys, for me, I mean, to be honest with you, Beer Lab has a lot of really fun beers with unique flavors. That pickled mango sour was really, really fun. really cool for me because I've never even had pickled mangoes before, so it's something I've never experienced, and it was really well executed. Like, not too much vinegar, you know, not overwhelming. But to be honest with you, this is one of those breweries, I mean, back home, it's one of those breweries where half of the board is filled with hazies, and there's a reason for it. Their hazies are bomb. So, Chirashi is the beer that I decided to go with, and the main reason why is because, well, you look at the board, and it shows you all the hops that are in each beer, and this one's literally got, well, Galaxy, Nelson, Mandarina Bavaria, Sauvignon Blanc, and Mosaic. So 5 different hop varieties, and the cool thing is with this beer, you really do taste them all. Oh, yeah, well, and aside from that, taking a sip, it's just so damn good. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Like, back home, if I went to a brewery, if I went to like just a beer bar and they had this on tap and I tasted it, I would just be in heaven. Like, we're probably gonna stick around for a little bit, at least a little bit, and I'm probably gonna have another one of these because it's that good. I'm just super impressed with the hazies that they do here. You can tell, especially like, you know, we spent a lot of time talking to Nicolas and just his passion behind craft beer and why he brews what he brews. He brews. Yeah. It's just well balanced, soft mouthfeel, great hops, great fruit. I don't know what to tell you, man. The beers here were super impressive. I can't wait to spend a lot of money and take a bunch home.
Tasting room is beautiful. I mean, the art, the gear, the hospitality. I mean, you can't beat it.
The vibes.
Yep. The food. They make a good charcuterie board,
which we will be digging into shortly. So anyways, Trey and I think are going to go ahead and finish these beers, get some food, chill out. Golden's going to have a couple beers himself, and then, you know, we'll see you for the outro. Cheers.
Cheers. Stancha.
All right, guys, so that was Beer Lab. Huge thank you to Ile and Nicolas for showing us around. Hospitality was amazing. Beer was great. Food was even better. I'm speechless.
Yeah, guys, to be honest with you, if we didn't have so much more on the agenda, I would have been perfectly fine with spending the entire rest of my day here. The beers were just, I didn't want to leave. In fact, I'm taking stuff to go. I'm taking it home, but damn it, I wanted to just keep drinking. I just want to make some bad decisions, and unfortunately I can't, but I'm really grateful that at least we got to spend the time that we had here. It was great. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up. Share with your friends. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Helps us in the rankings, and it encourages us to make episodes like this one outside of, you know, your normal comfort zone, showing you some really fun, good, independent craft beer. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time on Let's Have Some Beer. Cheers.
Hey guys, we're here in my neck of the woods. We're here on the windward side of Oahu in Kailua at Lani Kai Brewing.
So if you're ready to check it out, stay tuned.